All right, guess what Bianca did this time? Bianca turned on the light. Yeah, we are learning things as we go through this video journey. All right, so the last two problems that I was going to do for you was D. So D says 2 to the 23rd times 2 to the 80 something, 84 minus 2 to the 81. Right? So these are the same base. You can only add the same bases if it's also the same exponents. So you cannot put these two together. But you can multiply. When you multiply same bases, you keep the base. You add a cat, supposedly. We used to get your cat. And you add exponents. So this ends up being 2 to the 23rd plus 84 minus 2 to the 23rd plus 81. And you just add the exponent. So the end of your problem is going to be whatever 23 plus 84 is. And I don't know because I can't add and subtract. So it's a hot mess. I am a hot mess. All the way together. So 107, because I cheated earlier, minus 2 to the 104. And that's it. That's all you can do with it. There's still different exponents. You can't do a darn thing with that, but leave it like it is. All right, so that's D. G. So G says 3z squared minus 8. That is a horrible 8. Times, excuse me, 3z squared plus 8. Okay, so this is something I was trying to tell you last week. This is a special type of problem, right, where you have the same first terms, the same last terms. They have to be identical, right? But you have different signs in the middle. What ends up happening is if you recognize it, this type of problem, you can immediately solve it without having to do any work. Why? Because it's called a difference of two squares. So what you're going to do is just multiply the first terms, add the exponents. Multiply the last terms, add the exponents. What this turns out to be is 9z to the fourth, add exponents, minus 8 times 8, which is 64. A difference of two squares. This is 8 squared. This is 3z squared. What happens here is your middle terms end up canceling each other out. So when you do your inside, it's going to be negative 8 times negative 3z squared, which is negative 24z squared, right? And then this is going to be positive 24z squared. So they're going to cancel each other out and be 0. It happens every time. Don't be upset if you don't notice it and you just do these problems with the FOIL method or whatever, but you'll save yourself some time if you can recognize it off the bat. So this problem actually ends up being very easy. Now, this problem is very similar to, I think, some problems that you had earlier. Number or letter L on here is very similar to number 5 that I've already done. All right. I is very similar to D, right? Don't worry about the numbers that are there. They're there to make you worry, right? Just add the exponents together if it's the same base. What else could be tricky? I think I saw something on your first page that might have been a little tricky for you, or you might think is tricky. it's another kind of special problem, right? So, and there's nothing really special about it. It's just don't get tripped up on it. So if ever you see a term or you see a problem and it says it's, all it means is that you're doing this. You're multiplying it together. You're doing, it's two terms. If it was three of them, it would be three of these. If it was four, it would be four of those. All right? So you can take this, use your FOIL method, use your tabular method, whichever one you like the most, and multiply this out and figure out what it is, right? FOIL method, first terms, inner terms, outer terms, last terms. I don't know why. I always spell FOIL, but if you want to do FOIL, it is outer terms, inner terms, but I always do it backwards, so up to you. Addition is associative and communicative, so it doesn't matter which way you do it, it's still right. Multiplication is the same way. Doesn't matter which way you do it, it's still right. So you can do it out of order and it'll still be okay. That is all the problems I was going to show you. You have an example of every single problem that is on this paper, and that is part of last week's work also. So if you have any other questions or something didn't get explained well enough, send me questions in email or whatever, and I'll answer those. But try the rest of the problems that you have. I tried to single out the harder of the problems, or the ones that I thought might trip you up. So try those out. Get your answers, because you gotta try it. You gotta practice. Once you get your answers, send them to me. I'll check them, and I'll let you know how it's going. All right. Good night. Good week. Bye.